Yum. Hello again, precious friends. When I made my orange yogurt mousse, I told you that I had devised a recipe for chocolate and that I would share that with you. And that's what is going to happen today. We're going to make chocolate yogurt mousse. If you like chocolate and if you do dairy, this is going to be one of your favorites, I'm sure. It's already one of mine, and it's already one of my hubby's. He has a sweet tooth, that although he wouldn't necessarily admit it. So let's get right into it. All right, so this begins, as all of the yogurt mousses do, with the gelatin. And this time we have 1/4 teaspoon of coffee powder, instant coffee powder. You could leave this out if you want to, but I find that it gives the chocolate, it's so beneficial to the chocolate flavor. It elevates it from, you know, maybe overly sweet kitty dessert sort of chocolate to a tiny bit of bitterness. It really makes the chocolate flavor a lot more sophisticated to my mind and a lot more grown up. So we're just going to put this coffee powder in here. We don't have to worry about if it's completely dissolved. We just want it all wet. Swirl it a little bit. And again, our 1/2 teaspoon of gelatin. This was a tablespoon of water, 1/4 teaspoon of instant coffee powder, and now 1/2 teaspoon, our 1/2 teaspoon of gelatin. There we go. Set this aside to bloom. Okay, here we have our 1/4 cup of heavy cream that we've already whipped to soft peaks, because that's the next stage. And of course, our next is 1/2 cup of very thick Greek yogurt. As I've said many times, if your Greek yogurt isn't very thick, just strain it a little more in the refrigerator. And I know you're going to be able to do that because you will have followed my advice to check the label and make sure there's no starch or gelatin in your plain Greek yogurt, haven't you? I know you have. And now for the flavorings, a tiny pinch of salt. You can leave the salt out if you want to, but really I recommend that you don't. Salt and chocolate go really great together, and a tiny bit of salt will help you not need so much sugar, actually, or so much sweetener to make things sweet. And here I got about 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. And 2 tablespoons of allulose, just like we had with the orange. Now we're going to be putting some cocoa powder in here. And cocoa powder can be very bitter. So along with the 2 tablespoons of allulose, I'm going to give it a bit of a squirt of a low volume sweetener. That happened to be Splenda just because I like it. Yeah, I don't want to hear about it. If you think it's going to rot my brain, I'd rather not hear about it, frankly. You could use stevia or whatever kind of low volume sweetener you want to, just a squirt or 2. Just to get the sweetness to where you like it. And I already know for me that just a couple of tiny squirts is going to be sufficient. Okay, now need my sifter because we are going to sift in 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Please sift this, friends. Do not skip this step. If you get cocoa lumps in here, I'm telling you, you won't get them out. They just won't come out. You won't be able to beat them down. Okay. Now we are going to beat up our mixture once again. We're going to pulse this. Actually, I think I'm just going to stir it up a little bit to get the cocoa powder wet first. Discretion being the better part of valor. Because if you let this cocoa powder will fly up, and if it flies up, you will have a hard time not inhaling it, and you really don't want to inhale this stuff. I know somebody once who developed pneumonia because they had inhaled cocoa powder. It was not a good thing. So wet up the cocoa powder before you start blitzing this, please. Alright, now we're going to have to scrape this down and continue to mix because there's cocoa stuck to the sides of the bowl. There we go, nice and fluffy. And of course, our gelatin is bloomed, and here we go to the microwave for 10 seconds or however long it takes in your microwave to melt this bloomed gelatin. Remember, do not let this boil, my friends. You will regret it. 5-second intervals if you must, only till it's melted. I'll be right back. So friends, just for the sake of brevity, I also just put you on pause until our gelatin mixture was sufficiently cool, because you'll recall we want it just a little warmer than room temperature, not too cold because then it'll lump up, and not too hot because we don't want it to deflate our mixture. So we're going to pour that in here and fold it in. It doesn't have to be perfectly incorporated at this stage because we still have some folding left to do, if you'll recall. Okay, there we go. At this point, you can taste it, make sure it's sweet enough, make sure it has enough chocolate flavor. At this point, if you want to add a little bit more cocoa powder sifted in, you could do that. But I happen to think it's beautiful just as it is. Now, as we have done before, sift your 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Do not omit the sifting, my friends. You will regret it. I promise you. Might not regret it the first time, and you might not regret it the second time, but at some point, you will regret not sifting the baking soda. Now here we go, folding. Now chocolate is a little bit acidic too, so we're getting a very powerful reaction here. I don't know if you can see it, but it is really inflating. But you still need to, we just need to fold this until we are sure that all of the baking soda is evenly distributed. There we go. My goodness, look at that. Doesn't that look yum, yum, yummy? Okay. Now, what I'm gonna do, because as you all know, I like cute food. Here's our little dishes. This makes 2 servings. And I have here a piping rig. I have a star tip inside a disposable piping bag. You can use a zip top bag. Just make sure you have the flat bottomed kind, not the pleated bottom kind. Put that in there. And the easiest way to load it is to put this down inside a glass and fold the cuff of the bag over the edge of the glass. And now here we go. We're going to get our spatula and we're just going to load this. All into our piping bag. You can load this into your serving dishes however you want to. You could just spoon it in. You can just sit down with your best buddy with the mixing bowl and 2 spoons. You can do it whatever you want. Now we uncuff the bag, lift it out of the cup, pull this out just like that, lay it down on the board, and with the side of our hand we're going to force it down into the tip. And you don't have to do this, friends. This is just me because I'm kind of obsessed, as we already know. Look at that, friends. Isn't that gorgeous? This is why I like cute food. Not only is it cute and delicious, but it's also fun. Whoops. Have a little bit extra. That looks ugly. Haha. I did myself in, didn't I? Let me see if I can rescue this one. Good enough. A little bit left in the bag. Now, plastic wrap. And into the refrigerator they go, and we will see you in a little bit after about 2 to 3 hours when these have set up, and then we'll dress them up and make them pretty. Okay, friends, our chocolate yogurt mousse is done chilling, and now we're going to dress it up and give it a taste. Let's go. So here you see we have our bowls of our chocolate mousse. They chilled about 3 hours altogether. And we're going to take the plastic off. The tops don't look so great, but that's okay because we have a workaround for that. Okay. right here I have got a strainer, and I have got a teaspoon of allulose granulated allulose, and a teaspoon of cocoa powder, just stirred together. And right here I have a little bit of cream that's been whipped, sweetened and whipped. Your standard dessert topping. And we're going to squeeze this down into the tip. Not holding shape very well, but that's okay. It still looks nice. And now we're going to take our cocoa powder and allulose. And you'll notice I did not sprinkle it, I did not dump it directly into the sifter. I'm sprinkling it into the sifter. If you can do it by just dumping it into the sifter, but you have to do that over a plate. And now that it's in here, we're just gonna dust. There we go. Look at that, friends. Isn't that beautiful? Wouldn't you be proud to serve that? I know you would be. I am. So now let's give it a taste. And here is our chocolate yogurt mousse. And yes, friends, it is going to taste just as lovely as it looks. Look at that. I don't know why it won't focus. Can you see the fluff? That's beautiful. If you like chocolate, friends, this is something you've got to try. Of course, technically, I guess it would have to be ketovore and not carnivore, but it's about as close to carnivore as a chocolate dessert can get. See the fluffiness? Oh my goodness. It's melts in your mouth. It's chocolatey. The baking soda does give it just a slight hint of saltiness, which is really appropriate in my opinion. With the chocolate, it gives the chocolate a real sophisticated kind of grown-up chocolate taste rather than just that super sweet milky chocolate taste that a lot of little kid-focused candy has. If you like chocolate, you are going to love this. Last bite. So, my friends, please try this. Let me know how you feel about it. Even if you don't like it, just let me know. Comments, like, share, subscribe. Join me on Facebook. And we will talk again real soon with another fun and delicious recipe. See you later. Bye.